Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today doing a Master Duel Suship deck profile. So I'm really excited to do this for you guys because this deck is an extremely fun deck to play on Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, being able to turbo out a bunch of XZ monsters to help you go in for game. I've included some really spicy tech cards in this build for you guys, so without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell in there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. Like in your name, description, every single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month to your Patreon. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Suship Shari. This card is a key combo piece in the deck and helping you get out a bunch of your XZ monsters, and depending on which materials you use for each of your XZ monsters, depends on which effects that they give. But you always want to use a copy of Shari to get a really cool bonus effect, so you always want to play at least 3 copies of this card. We then play 3 copies of Shari Red. Shari Red is very important in the deck as a 3-of, because this card basically counts as 3 more copies of Shari, which is absolutely crazy that you can basically play 6 copies of Shari, because this card's name becomes Suship Shari while in the hand, deck, or graveyard, or on the field, which is so cool about this card because it doesn't have that Harpy Lady 1 Harpy Lady effect where you can only play 3 copies of either Shari Red or 3 copies of Shari, because it doesn't count as Shari all the time, which is super cool. This card also has a really awesome effect that you can actually reveal 1 other copy of Shari in your hand to special summon this card from your hand, then apply this effect to special summon a Gunkin monster from your deck, except another copy of this card, but negate its effects, if any, then special summon from your extra deck 1 XZ monster that mentions that special summon monster's name using that monster and this card as a material, and is treated as an XZ summon, which is a great ability just to instantly get you into XZ plays. We then play 3 copies of Ikora. Ikora is definitely a 3-of in the build because this card helps you out so much with consistency, because it's a really cool extender, and if you control a copy of Shari, you can special summon this card from your hand to your side of the field, and during your main phase, you can excavate the top 3 cards from your deck, and if you do, you can either add to your hand or special summon 1 excavated copy of Shari and also shuffle the rest back into your deck, which is great because you basically play like 6 copies of Shari, which is really cool. We then play 3 copies of Uni. Uni is also definitely a 3-of in the build, as this card helps us go into one of our main boss monsters, and it's super cool in the deck, because it has the ability to reveal 1 other Gunkin card in your hand to special summon this card from your hand, then apply the following effect based on the revealed card, that if you reveal a copy of Shari, you can special summon the revealed monster, but if it's not, you place the revealed monster on the bottom of the deck. You can also target a Gunkin monster you control and change its level to 4 or 5, then you can add a copy of Shari from your deck to your hand, which is a really awesome effect that it can instantly get you to a copy of Shari, and also level manipulates so you can make your rank 5 plays. We then play just a single copy of Icefish. Icefish is just in here for the name, because you need to be able to play it so you can play your copy of Catch of the Day. I don't feel like you need any more than a single copy of this card, but it's still a really good 1-of. We then play a single copy of Water Enchantress. Water Enchantress is great in the deck because you really don't need your normal summon effect in this deck. So we do play the Adventure package in the deck as well. And with this card and a copy of, say, Foolish Burial, you have 2 ways to be able to get to your copy of Rite of Arameser, because if you draw into this, you just get to your Adventure package. If you draw Foolish Burial, you send this to the grave, and then you get to your copies of your Rite of Arameser, so you can start getting into your Adventure package. So even though this card is at 1 in Master Duel, you still have a lot of ways to be able to get to your copy of Rite of Arameser, which is why I still choose to play it in this deck. We then play a single copy of Wandering Griffin Rider. This card is great because it is a walking negate, and it's also searchable, which is why we play this card at just a single copy. We play a single copy of Dolgaran. Dolgaran's great in this deck as a 1-of because it is a small world bridge. We also play a single copy of Gameciel. I feel like 1 in 1 is totally fine because sometimes you just need to hand your opponent the turtle. Plus, it's really cool to be able to play the kaijus in this deck so you have a safe target to attack into. And your copy of Dolgaran just makes great for a small world bridge because all of your different Suships are actually fire, making it really easy to step into the exact ones that you need. We then play 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom's amazing in this deck as a 3-of, basically just to stop your opponent from touching the deck. And then we also play 3 copies of Maxi. It's insane that this card is still at 3 in Master Duel, but as long as it's at 3, we're playing it at 3. So, that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to start with a single copy of Foolish Burial. Foolish Burial is definitely a one-of in the build to be able to send your copy of Water Enchantress from your deck to the graveyard so you can get to your copy of Rite of Arameser, which is just so important for this deck because it gets you into an awesome engine. We then play a single copy of Double or Nothing. Double or Nothing is great in the deck because it's very easy to make rank 4s in this build, because what you can do with this card is summon in a copy of Utopia Double, detach a material from that copy of Utopia Double, search Double or Nothing, then put a copy of Utopia on top of your copy of Utopia Double, and once you do, you can then attack your opponent, and if they have any monster on their side of the field that has 2,000 or less attack points, you're probably going to win the game, because your Utopia comes out at 5,000 attack points. You can then use Utopia's ability to negate its own attack, drop Double or Nothing, and boost your copy of Utopia up to 10,000 swinging in. The only downside is you can only attack into monsters, but that's not that big of a deal because you're swinging with a 10,000 attack point boss monster. We then play a single copy of Crossout Designator. This is just so we basically prevent ourselves from getting Maxi or Ash Blossom. It's just a really good card in the deck. We then play 2 copies of Called by the Grave. Again, we really don't want to get hand trapped, and this card is just great in the deck to be able to stop our opponent from hand trapping us. We play 2 copies of Rite of Arameser because this card is currently at 2 in Master Duel, making this card a great card in the build to help us get to our Fateful Adventure and get us an adventure token. We then play a single copy of Fateful Adventure, where you just need a single copy of this card in the build to help us get into cards like Wandering Griffin Rider and cards like Draco Back, which we also play as a single copy. This card is basically a compulse. It lets us bounce card off the field, which is really nice to be able to do, and it's just a great card overall in the deck. We then play 2 copies of Suship Catch of the Day. Catch of the Day is great in the deck because it's 2 of. You really don't need more than 2 copies of this card in the deck, because it has the ability that once per turn, you can reveal a copy of Shari in your hand and place a counter on this card. And if you do, you reveal a Gunkin XZ monster from your X deck, and your opponent declares a Gunkin monster's card name, except a copy of Shari that's mentioned on any one of your Gunkin XZ monsters. Then, you can add the declared card from your deck to your hand. And if you cannot add a card to your hand, then you shuffle this card back in the deck, and if this card in its owner's possession is destroyed by an opponent's card, your opponent pays exactly 500 life points for each counter on this card, basically making them pay for their meal, which is hilarious that you basically show them one of the ships and then they order the exact one that they want and you make it to OTK them. But this card is definitely a 2-of in the build, and I absolutely love that they basically incorporated a restaurant into this deck, which is really hilarious, but it's great in the deck to be able to get to the exact cards that you need so you can really start getting your plays going, but I feel like 2 is really all you need in the deck. We then play 3 copies of Painful Decision. Painful Decision is great in this build because it lets you send a level 4 lower normal monster from your deck to the graveyard. And if you do, add 1 card with the same name of that card from your deck to your hand, meaning you can use this card with your copy of Shari, which is really nice to be able to do, which is why I play this card as a 3-of. We then also play 3 copies of Small World. Small World is great because we have a bunch of different bridges in the deck, especially with the Kaijus in this build, to be able to get to the exact cards that we need, especially with Dolgran because it is a fire monster. So it's a really good Small World bridge to be able to use in this deck to get to the exact card that you need. So Small World is really nice in this build just for consistency, which is why I play this card as a 3-of in the deck. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, guys, we're going to start off with our copies of our Uni class Dreadnought. This card is our main boss monster and is one of the coolest cards I've ever played because it has a really cool ability that if this card is XZ summon, you apply the effects in sequence based on its materials. That if you have a copy of Shari under it, you draw a card. But if you have a copy of Uni, then this card can actually attack directly as a 2,900 attack point boss monster, which is insane. And also, once per turn, during your main phase or your opponent's battle phase, quick effect, you can target face-up cards your opponent controls up to the number of Gunkin monsters that you control, and special summon from the X deck, ignore, and you can negate their effects, which is just so cool that you can just negate their effects, and it's just a really cool effect to be able to use on this card. But the main effect I use on this card is to be able to attack directly. We then play 2 copies of Ikura class Dreadnought. This card is also really good as a 2-of in the deck because it has a really awesome ability that if you use a copy of Shari to make this card, you get to draw a card. If you use a copy of the Ikura, then this card can make a second attack during each battle phase, and that's pretty good on this card. And once per turn, you win your Gunkin monster special summon from the extract, inflicts battle damage to your opponent. You can actually target a card your opponent controls and destroy it, which is a great ability. We then also play a single copy of Carrier. Carrier is just a good 1-of in the deck. I also play this card in the build because we do play the copy of Icefish because you play Catch of the Day. But this card is great in the deck because if you have a copy of Shari on the field and use it as material, you draw a card. And if you use a copy of the Icefish, you get to add a Gunkin spell or trap from your deck to your hand. And when a face-up card in the field spell zone that's a Gunkin, or when there's a card in the field spell zone, Gunkin monsters you control, special summon from the extract, cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects and gain attack equal to their own defense, which is usually not that much, but it can make a difference to help you OTK. We then play a single copy of Baguska. Baguska just slows down the game, which is really nice to be able to do. We play a single copy of Abyss Dweller to be able to lock down the graveyard, because it really does help to lock down the graveyards, especially this format. We then play a single copy of Utopia Double. Utopia Double is amazing in this deck. To help us OTK, is you just detach a material from this card to be able to add double or nothing from your deck to your hand, make a copy of Utopia on top of it. Utopia comes out at 5,000. You then swing into an opponent's monster, negate its attack, drop double or nothing, and boost it up to 10,000 attack points, making it so you can OTK your opponent extremely easily. We then play a single copy of Chalkanine, because you can make Chalkanine first, then make your copy of Borbo, and then swing directly to be able to do basically a copy of Zeus, which is amazing, to be able to get a copy of Zeus out on your side of the field. And I absolutely love that about this card, that you can basically just step into a copy of Zeus with the Zodiac cards, which is just crazy. We play a single copy of Gaia Dragon, the Thunder Charger, because you can put this card on top of your copy of your Uni class because it's a rank 5 to give you an additional material under your copy of Zeus. And what's really cool is it's very, very easy to make your copy of your Uni class to be able to attack directly. So then in main 2, you just make this and then make Zeus. We then play a single copy of Utopic Future. Utopic Future is amazing, so we can step into our copy of Utopic Draco Future, which is a walking negate, because we don't play very many number monsters in the extract besides our copy of Utopia, Utopia Double, and our copy of Baguska, so we have a lot of options in this deck to be able to step into these cards. And then finally, we play a single copy of Zeus. Zeus is just amazing to be able to board wipe the field, and it's just an awesome card to be able to play in any XZ deck, or any deck that can make it, because it is a board wipe. So, that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. This deck is super fun to be able to play. If you guys have never played Suship before in Master Duel, you should definitely give this deck a try. It's really fun to be able to play. The Suship cards are relatively budget. You will have to basically make some URs because of the hand traps, but the Suships are basically super rares or less, which is really, really nice. So, that's going to do it for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.